Hello, welcome everybody. It's Live with Georgia. You are here. It's Saturday night. We're in New York City, and hopefully people from all over the world are coming in. $10 tarot questions. So if you pay $10, I will give 30% of that to charity. The charity of the month is the Wild Bird Fund, and in exchange for that, you will get a reading. So tonight I'll be using the Smith-Waite Borderless Edition tarot deck, and I've been reading from this one from the very beginning, and I've been staying very true despite my having many other kinds of decks. I've been staying true to this because I really want everyone who's watching to understand the major arcana and the minor arcana. I've been going through the minor arcana since June of last year, and this is what the deck looks like. And if it's your first time here, please like and subscribe, and you'll get notified about my click the little bell so that every time I go live or upload a video, you'll get notified about it, which is wonderful. My website is georgiamarantos.com. It is back up and running. Yay! Yay! It was a tiny little glitch, and I didn't realize how simple it was to fix. So for anyone who creates their own websites in WordPress, one of my plugins had not been updated, or when it got updated, there was a glitch in it. So I had to go back and fix that. So it's as simple as that, like someone else's, difficult update or something wrong with their update and the whole thing crashes. So, I don't know much about technology, and I have learned through YouTube. I've learned so much by watching videos on YouTube. I created my own website using YouTube. And so you can really do a lot through these videos. You can learn how to read the tarot cards, right? Which is what we're doing today. Another very wonderful announcement is that this coming Saturday, is the Learn to Read Tarot Play Shop. It is the second one that I've run. I ran one in November of last year, and it was really awesome. And hopefully some of the people who want to practice from my courses before will be joining me this Saturday in the afternoon session. So there's a morning and afternoon session, or you could come for the full day. So the full day is $60, and you will learn and you will know how to read tarot cards by the end of the day. I promise you. The more you practice reading, the more confident you get, and therefore, the more you're able to kind of hold space for a reading, is what I like to say. And if you are a person who's already in a kind of work where you are with people and you have people skills, hello to our two people. Say hi. Let me know I'm not just talking into the air. I want to know who you are and say hello. If you're a person who has those people skills, it actually really does help when you're giving a reading for someone else. But if you're just wanting to learn the cards to read for yourself, and you want to understand the very deep symbolism that's in the cards, then you can literally just absorb the understanding, and then when you choose a card, you really kind of know what's going on, both on a superficial and a deep level. So we've really gone deep, really deep. I love the Wheel of Fortune, one of my favorites. I'm kind of sad that we're coming to the end of our major arcana. Can you believe it? Tonight we are going to study the World. The World card. Finally, we come to the World. And so we'll be talking about the World, and we've talked a lot about the World because she often pops up in our readings. Tonight, the last 2 weekends, I have forgotten to do a giveaway, and I'm really sorry about that. And I haven't had a chance to follow up on social media with any giveaways. But tonight, we have a wonderful giveaway. It is a fresh, brand spanking new Smith-Waite tarot deck. Now, the ones that I have are the borderless edition. So you can see around this card, there's no border. Now, the cards that will be in this deck have a border that looks like that. Now, this is not a traditional tarot card. It is basically one of Pamela Coleman Smith's art prints that they have included inside this deck. So that's what you get in here. You get the 78 cards, you get an introductory card, you get a little booklet which explains to you how to do the readings, and you also get 4 prints of hers that are basically her beautiful watercolor paintings. I mean, look at this. It's just so gorgeous. She's being blown away. The baby's reaching out, or the cherub is reaching out to her. So beautiful. Let me see. This is another one of my favorites. So beautiful. Right? Mother and child. And little birds at the bottom. Any painted picture will work as a surface to read off. You could create your own cards. There are people who do create their own cards. They create their own photographs. So you can learn, once you have created a relationship with your tarot cards, you can literally read anything. And I wanted to say that tonight we finish with the World card, right? So we have done all the 22 major arcana, starting with the 0, which is the Fool, and the 21, right, which is the Roman numerals. You see 21 up the top there. So we've done 21 cards. Number 1 was Magician. 21 is the World. And so there's 22 in total. And what I'm going to do in the following weeks, the weeks to come, so next week, right after the workshop finishes, we'll be jumping into explaining the minor arcana. I'll be splitting the minor arcana up into each of its suits. So we'll do the 1 to 10 of the wands next week, and then we'll do the court cards after that. And at the beginning of each of those, I'll give you an introduction into how to do the sort of numerology of tarot. And that's really interesting, because once you combine astrology, numerology, and, all of the other sort of symbols that are steeped into the cards, you get a much deeper reading. You don't have to rely on that, but if it's in your data bank and it's in your memory and you're doing a reading and it just pops into your mind, then you say it because it's more than likely relevant. So anybody want a reading? We've got $10 for a reading, 1 question. I'm going to pull a card. Pull a card for the night. Let's do that. That always kind of gets things going. Waiting for people to come on. It's such a beautiful day today. Why would you come onto YouTube? You should be out in the parks, sitting with your friends, having a picnic, socially distanced, or not. I suppose people are testing nowadays and getting vaccinated. The world is changing yet again. So tonight, here we go. I like to choose with my left hand. I find it a receptive one. Look at this. The 4 of Coins. So what does the 4 of Coins says? The 4 of Coins is an energy that's kind of going in, right? So he's kind of hugging himself. He's hugging this coin. He's holding it close to his chest. If this was a card where someone was wondering, how they should be in the world right now, you would say, well, just, hold back. Don't go out there. Maybe ground yourself, because you've got 2 of these coins on the ground, which on top of which his feet are. This card can also mean, sort of holding on to or feeling quite tight with your money, or being frugal. This figure has a crown. So why would a figure that has a crown be frugal, right? You would assume someone with a crown and with a, they're in the metropolis, so maybe they're a merchant, or there's someone who deals with money all the time, but there's a sense that there's a holding back, a kind of a holding on to the money, not letting go. So, and it's definitely a number 4. So what does this say about tonight? What are we doing? Are we holding back? Are people holding back? They're definitely holding back. No, there are 4 people watching and nobody's made a comment. So I think this is, we can safely say that this card is indicating or indicative of the current situation, the current vibration. So what can we do? Can we entice everyone who's watching to put down a number? Should we say that the 4 people here, one of them could get the tarot deck? I usually do my giveaways at the end of the evening, but why not do it at the beginning? So if you're willing to reveal yourself, put a number down between 1 and 10, and we'll see who gets the deck. It's a beautiful deck. I'll just mail it out to you. It'll probably just be in the regular post. It will come with a with a this is such a beautiful, look at this illustration. Isn't it gorgeous? These two women with these gorgeous gowns, three women. There's a third in the background, obviously some ladies who are getting together for an afternoon soiree in the garden. Beautiful roses, and their dresses are just gorgeous. Gorgeous patterns. Thanks for the like. Woohoo! So I've got note takers. I do want to say that after, so we will spend probably the next 8 weeks, right? We will spend the next 8 weeks doing the minor arcana, and we'll see if we can do them a little quicker or not. We may. Shelley, hello. Thanks for being here, Shelley. I was just saying that after we do the 8 weeks, what I'll do is I'll dedicate one show, and that will be the last show, the kind of the celebratory see you, send-off show, to talk about different decks, right? I have a ton of them. I'm sure you do too, Shelley. For example, this Grimalkin Tarot. If you go to Kickstarter.com, if you feel like spending money, or if you feel like window shopping for different tarot decks, this is the Grimalkin Tarot, and it is all about cats. The artist and creator is MJ Cullinane, Cullinane, and these cards are gorgeous. Look at them. She has the traditional runaway Queen of Cups nomenclature down the bottom, so it's exactly the same. The 22 cards of the major arcana, although she adds one called a Grimalkin in it. But there are cats and birds and flowers and nature all over this, and all of the elements. But she stays true to the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretations. You see the Knight of Swords, fiery cat jumping on top of the beautiful horse. You've got, let's see, the tower. This is interesting. Look at this big ball and chain knocking something over, or, the cats are very active or really naughty. But what happens is once you learn the symbolism in the traditional Rider-Waite, like we've been studying it, then you can move to other people's interpretations of the Rider-Waite-Smith, and there's a seamlessness. You won't have to learn this deck all over again. These cards won't be a mystery to you. Even though the imagery is different, you'll retain some of the information, and you'll be able to say, oh, okay, so this is the 9 of coins. Well, in the traditional Rider-Waite, the 9 of coins looks like this and means this. What I'm getting from this card is a little bit of that, but I'm also getting A, B, C, D. So then that's how you kind of expand on using a different deck with different illustrations and a different person's, a different artist's interpretations with new symbolism, and you basically read the card. You read whatever is on the card, the colors of the card, the story of the card. Even though they're cats, they're still emoting. There's still some kind of emotional element. Hi, so you've got a Russian name. You're writing in English. Let me know your name. How do I pronounce it? Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for saying hi. Does anyone have a question? Should we talk a little bit about the world card, given that we're here and it's the world cards? Now, I do want to let people know how to pay for a reading. I'm on Venmo, and my handle at Venmo is Georgia-Marantos. Igor. Hi, Igor. So if you want to pay for a reading, it is $10. You can send it to at Georgia-Marantos, or you can send it to PayPal. All the information's in the description, but PayPal, you would send it to Georgia-Marantos at, I've not spelled that right, Georgia-Marantos at gmail.com. There we go. Hey, Linda, how are you? I hope you have your deck out. I want to do some readings with you. Any questions about any readings that you've done, Linda? So Linda did the course in November, and she's now been reading the tarot for how many months, should we say, Linda? November, December, January, February, March, 4 or 5 months. Fantastic. Should we do a reading together, Linda? I have a question for you. So let me see. What question should I have? We have 2 weeks of spring break, and the children are at home with me. Linda, will you do a spread for me? I'll do a spread too. So my question around spring break is, how's it going to go? What's it going to be like? What's my next 2 weeks looking like? And I think probably the best way to answer this, and in the course that's coming up on Saturday, we're going to go through how do you create a question to get a sort of spread that will answer your question, or how do you lay down cards to answer the question that you've created. So the question I just created is, how's the next 2 weeks going to look like? Actually, it's 2.5, not just 2. So how are the next 2 weeks going to go? Linda, will you put down some cards for me? Or Shelley, if you've got your cards, do you want to put down some cards for me? I know we've got some really good tarot readers here, very high intuitive. So I know I'm dealing with people that I know and trust. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So then my next 2 weeks are going to look like this. I'm going to pick one card and see if I can tell a story from the one card. Oh, look at that. Right? Now, this gives me hope that in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be having a lot of fun. We're going to be, there's going to be a lovely exchange. We're going to have emotions are being exchanged, and it's going to be quite healing. So Shelley says, hi there, what did you want me to pull on? So I just thought that, given that nobody has a question, that we could just exchange readings, friendship. I wanted to pull on, so my question is, in the next 2 weeks, how's it going to go in my home? How's life going to be for me? That's a very self-centered question, but that's what it is right now. How will life be for me in the next 2 weeks with on spring break? Because we're not leaving. Oh, here, Linda's got Justice, the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. All right, I'm going to pull those out. All right, Linda, do me the reading. Justice, 10 of Cups, and 10 of Wands. Sounds very full. Sounds very tiring. I like the 10 of Cups, though, so lots of happiness. I think that ties in with this, right? Our cat, Leela, passed almost 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago Monday, and we're all still very sad. But we are looking at other cats, and we just want to fill that little hole that these beautiful animals leave. It's a big vacuum, and of course we're taking our time, but we're having, a lot of fun doing that. Leela comes back to us in very soon. She was 15 and a half when she passed, and I decided to, simply because he was the one available, but there was a gentleman who runs an automation, not a cremation, an automation, meaning they use, or aquamation, not automation, aquamation. So they use water to degrade the body, as opposed to fire, which burns and degrades the body. And I really loved the idea of the water because it felt very gentle and very loving. And oh, Shelley, please tell us which deck you're using. I'm so curious. You got the Crone and the World card. Wonderful. So what do you think, Linda? What do you think? Justice, the 10 of Cups. And so Leela, our cat, will be coming back to us, and in about a week, in an urn. And it'll just be her bones that had been sort of left over from the aquamation. The Crone is the grieving, and the World is transformation. That transformation, the idea of transformation, really fits in with this card too, because you see these two snakes coming up. This is the medical caduceus, the symbol of the lion, which is courage, and the angelic messenger. Oh, the Mother Peace deck. Thanks, Shelley. That's your deck, isn't it? I know that you've used that one for a long time, and I love the symbolism. That's beautiful. Thank you. So, the exchange of emotion in this card also, relates to the deck that, relates to the Mother Peace Tarot cards that you chose, because we have an exchange of emotion, which will happen over the next 2 weeks. We'll probably receive her in her own this week. And then we have the other cat, and, this is Leela in spirit, right? Guiding us and being with us. She's been in our dreams. We've been thinking of her. My husband drank from a cup of coffee, and at the end of the cup, at the coffee ground, there's a picture of a white cat, if you can believe it, or the outline of a white cat. And so we've kept that. It was very special. So, Linda, let's have a look at how your cards relate, because I think they really do. The Justice card, I'm going to try to find the Justice card. We've studied the Justice card together, haven't we? Let's have a look. Justice, Justice, Justice. Now, I know that you have this deck already, Linda. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. So I might wait to see if some more people come. Oh, I haven't found the Justice. Here it is, the Justice card, right? So this is the Justice card. That's probably going to be me sort of wielding my big sword, getting everybody into order. But I also really feel like we're going to we're all using screens at the moment, so the children want to thank you. Thanks, sweetheart. The Justice card, right? So we've talked about her before, and she's pretty much very organized, very straightforward, very black and white in some ways, even though this is not a black and white card. I find that justice is very black and white in some ways, right? There's a final decision that is black and white. Everything is written in black and white if you're thinking about a court system. And so my feeling is that this card definitely fits in with me. I think I'm going to be Lady Justice, organizing things, making sure we're getting out with the kids every day. And then the 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands is definitely feeling tired, right? The end of something. And the 10 of Cups, Justice, you will be very busy. She says yes. I think the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands says so too. It's going to be very full. And I'm really grateful. So the course that comes up for us, the Play Shop, I've already organized it so that the information is already compacted. It's just that we're going to create a new energy with the spring Play Shop. So if you've signed up for it, just know that the energy is always different with the number of people. And if there'll definitely be more time because we have less people coming on. We'll be able to do more practice readings. We'll be able to run through. We'll be able to answer more questions. So I'm really looking forward to it. Super looking forward to it. Anybody got a questions? So Linda says, Cups, you will have fun together at a beautiful place. Oh, yes. I even plan if the weather gets warm enough to visit the beach if we can. That would be really wonderful. All right. So let's see if we can find some information on the World card. The World card. Let's pull out the World card. Let's learn about the World card. So the World card and the Wheel of Fortune are related. We've talked about this before. See how there are 4 beasts? They're not really beasts. There are 2 angels at the top, and they're all winged spirit guides. They're spirit guides. One's an angel, one's a phoenix or an eagle at the top. At the bottom, you have a lion and an ox, or to me, it looks like a buffalo. Thank you, Linda. Rebecca, hello. Thank you for being here. How are you? So we are talking tarot. I'm now going to pull out the World card. So we don't have anybody with a question, but given that we're here, we may as well take the opportunity to learn about the World card. So this is the World card. Such a beautiful card. It's the final card in the Major Arcana. We have come full circle all the way. The other card that's super important here is the Fool card, which I think I mentioned last week. Why? Why? Because the Fool card is the 0 point. It's the new beginning. So once we reach the World card, we've accumulated everything in our journey. So the spirit that's found itself into a body, it's manifested into existence, into the third dimension with all of its senses and its consciousness, sort of local consciousness, as well as that collective consciousness. And it's living its life, it's experiencing everything, bringing through and remembering the spiritual principles, and then having the full experience, coming through the enlightenment, which is the freedom of the judgment card, and coming into the world. And the world is, when the world turns up, it really does kind of indicate that the person for whom it's shown up, they are living their life, or wanting to live their life, or hoping to live their life in a successful, fully embodied, fully conscious way. She's holding 2 of the lightning rods that the magician holds. So this is someone who has mastered manifestation. Here is someone who's naked, clearly vulnerable, but absolutely confident in their existence. That not only that, but they're flying midair. So there's a sense that, there's magic involved, and the understanding of the magic, right? Because the magician is magic, but also he's the manifester. So not 1, but 2. So there's a balance, very balanced. And the big wreath means huge success. And I mentioned before, these were winged creatures, right, holding books of knowledge. And now they're just there to symbolize they have been incorporated into her. She has, on her journey, she has tapped into strength and tenacity and courage and the connection with the divine beings and spirit guides and the animal guides, and going through transformation in her own life, transforming over and over again. Don't we experience kind of mini deaths on a daily basis? Here she is, and she's culminated into this holistic. This is like a fully balanced holistic. This is like someone who's been through, the dark night of the soul and come out the other end brand spanking new. Someone who's, come back from a diagnosis that had them, kind of near death, so to speak, or someone who's come out the other end of a terrible addiction, or been through really difficult life processes and experiences, and come out the other side to say, I'm here, I've succeeded, I understand how the world works, I've put all of the spiritual knowledge into practice, and I've gotten, I've obtained wisdom, and I'm here and I'm offering myself in this way. And there's the red passion in the infinity symbol, right? You've got the infinity symbol there. Let me just have a look at how's everyone doing? Good. Everyone's doing good. Anyone have a question? Let me know. All you need to do is let me know that you've sent some money in to Venmo or PayPal. And what I'm looking up right now is the Tarot course, Tarot Play Shop. And I'm just going to read from any of the extra symbols. Tarot Play Shop. Here we go. PDF. There we go. We've got the Judgment card and the World card. There it is. So the astrology of this card is that it is represented by Saturn. There we go. Saturn, the numerology 21, 3, 2 plus 1, which equals 3. And we already know that 3 is the manifestation number, right? And we know because she's holding these manifestation rods. They're crystals, basically, and they're transmitting energy, they're generating energy, they're transforming energy, they're giving out energy, amplifying energy. So this is someone who knows how to use her energy really well. So she's got the red lemniscate above and below, the huge wreath, which is success and freedom. I think we've mentioned absolutely everything. She's in command of herself. She has transcended suffering. Don't you love that? Absolutely transcended suffering. She's in connection with her spirit. She's absolutely fully conscious in a body, right? And this is the step. So the kind of keywords that we have here are success, self-empowerment. Absolutely. This is hard for self-empowerment. The card for self-empowerment, in addition with the strength card, but more so here because we know how much she's been through on her journey. Full expression of the world, full expression of the self in the world, right? And in communion with spirit, in communion with source energy. She knows how to use source energy because she has the magician's wands. That's what he does, right? He connects with source. And here is the dance of life, because she's kind of dancing, right? She understands that it's not a big deal. She knows how to laugh. She knows how to just put the scarf on, keeping it light and easy. Love this card. Fantastic card. Right? Any questions, anybody? Just questions about the tarot? Anything? I'll just show you the next card, which is the Fool. So you go from and this is when we come full circle. So we've come to the world, and here you are, success, completion, full consciousness. And what happens with the Fool is that the body disappears, right? The body disappears because at that point there isn't body consciousness. When you've come to this point and you are fully present, the body is inconsequential. Of course it's important, and of course you look after it. But here, the Fool, of course, there's a figure here, and we have to interpret it as a figure, but the Fool is actually all about energy, raw energy. It's the 0 point. There's the white sun. It's not a yellow sun. It's a white sun. So this is the energy comes from spirit. That's what this card is about. And spirit is the one that's guiding us, right? He's wearing a white shirt and the white dog. And he's right up there in the Himalayas, right up there in the high mountains. He has all the high teachings, the high understandings, and he's right there on top with them. There's really no being here. There's just pure raw energy that has the potential. This is unlimited potential. This is the unlimited potential for the next birth or for the next becoming. This is a card of becoming, right? The next step. Right. And in order to be in this energy, you have to be okay with where you are. There can't be any concerns, any worries, anything grinding you. This is the card for releasing all emotion and just being in the moment, trusting and having faith. Right. This is the card. And of course, those elements are here too, right? You are in the moment, you are trusting, you have faith because of your experience. So you have everything behind you here, whereas here there's nothing behind you. There's only 0. You're surrounded by the 0 point. The difference between those two cards, and when they turn up in a reading, they do turn up in different ways. They don't mean the same thing. They mean very different things. Anybody want to? What else could we do? We're 30 minutes in, and we're pretty much ready to wrap up. Anybody got any other questions? Maybe we could do a spread? Should I maybe start talking about maybe give us a thumbs up or let me know if you want to talk about some spreads. The type of spreads that I use are the past, present, future. Yes, full beginning and world-ending completion. Absolutely. That's a great wrap-up. That's essentially that's it. If we're going to choose one word, full beginning, the world is ending, and a completion, and a very satisfactory completion, right? And in the Fool, there's no sense of satisfaction because there's just the absolute beingness. Can I talk about the dog? That's a good question. Briefly, I included the dog when I was talking about the color white, right? So the sun is white. So the dog is said when you look at the Fool as there is a man walking, right? This is his dog or someone's dog, right? We don't know. But here is a dog, a sort of travel companion, so to speak, because he does look like he's going on a trip. Yeah, the Fool is ready to do anything. That's absolutely right. That's what this card is. Willing to do anything with a full trust that all is well. I mean, this really does live in the heart center that's fully connected to the crown, because all is well on the fifth dimension. where we have spirit and energy, pure energy. This is all is well. There is absolutely no doubt. There's no mind here, really. There's no mind. And in his travel sack, I think, is a little eagle or a rose. There's a rose. Can you see it? If I disappear, then it will come into focus, I hope. There it is. Does that look like a rose or a bird? To me, it looks like a bird to me. Look at that, a little bird. It could be a crow or it could be an eagle. But in his bag is his messenger bag. And the rose that he has is a white rose, which I think you could see, right? That's a white rose, meaning purity. And the dog, does the dog, what do you think? The dog has a similar posture. Yeah, the dog's about to jump off the cliff too. Right? Is the dog stopping him from, is the dog saying, hey, what are you doing? Let's not do this. Or is the dog just jumping off the cliff with him, right? Or her? We don't really know what. A lot of her figures have long or short hair, could be male or female. And, I love that about this. Although the decks do have like Empress and Emperor. So there is but we're really talking about the archetypes being an energy, and there's no sex assigned to that at all. And I love it when you talk about an energy, then everybody relates to energy, because that's what we are. And this dog, this dog is on its own. I mean, literally, it's right off the edge there. Right, so this person's about to walk off the cliff and the dog's like already over. I'll jump if you do. Right? You often, when you see dogs, they'll often look at their owners, right? They look up to make that eye contact, and they read faces. They recognize faces. So that's been sort of scientifically proven that dogs will recognize the face of their owner and recognize faces, so that they look at faces to have a memory of this. They have that memory of faces like humans have memory of faces. And you see the dog is looking up. Right? The dog is in some ways in communication. So why is this important? Why are you asking, Linda, about the dog? Is the dog, an example of innocence? In innocence, because it's white, right? And because we know it's pure and it's connected to the energy of spirit. We know that we can trust it. So there's trust there. The dog is fully trusting the actions of the person it's walking next to. This is one way to read it, and there are others. In the Marseille deck, the way that the dog was, sometimes the dog is seen biting the leg of the fool who's about to walk over. So I have seen that, or biting the bottom of their clothes as they're about to, meaning that they're wanting to prevent them from going over. But that gives it a very different meaning, doesn't it? And it's okay. So when you get the Fool, you have a choice when you get the cards. You can read as an overall energy, or you can get very specific about the actions that are happening, like you just did. An alter ego. Yeah, absolutely. So, you can get down into the nitty-gritty. There are people who've even counted the number of stripes, the number of crosses here. You can make everything relevant and meaningful. Why does the cliff go up? Is nature helping, protect? You've got 3 mountains, and how many peaks are there? How many rays are coming out of the sun? So all of these, you can put as much meaning into these cards as you want, on top of what Arthur Waite wanted to at the very beginning. Right. So he's written his book when the cards first came out, and he said, this is what I believe them to be so. But they were being read by so many people at that point. He was including other people's interpretations into his book, which is interesting. And the pattern on the Fool's robes. Yeah, absolutely. Look at them. They're like 8-pointed stars, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4. They look like, are they 8 or 7? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're 8-pointed stars. See those little red? So there's clearly there's nature. It looks like ivy, right? The green leaves look like ivy or some kind of leaf. And then there appear to be some roses or some type of flower, or maybe even the pomegranates. They could be the pomegranates that are sitting on behind the high priestess. What do you think of that? Right, the high priestess. So here we've got the Fool. Let's see if I can find the high priestess. Pamela Coleman Smith, yes. Or on gourds, yes. The dog's tail is up, says Linda. Definitely ready for an adventure. Oh, yeah. Right. Ready. I mean, this is a dog that wants to. I mean, this dog wants to be there. It wouldn't be there. It wouldn't have walked to the edge of the cliff, if it didn't want to. It has its own consciousness, can make its own choices. I'm just searching for the high priestess. I want everyone to have a look at her, at the beautiful veil behind her. Let's have a look. There she is. So you see these pomegranates. They do look a little like pomegranates, right? What do you think? Yeah, looks like a little pomegranate, maybe not. So definitely the 8-pointed star, which we see in the star card, right? The actual star card is an 8-pointed star, which is a number 8, I think. We've talked about that before. Yeah, wonderful. I think everybody here probably has a tarot deck. If I was to give it away, I mean, maybe we could do that next week, or if you'd want, no problem. Giving away, says Linda. Yes, and it's melted on his shirt. Yeah. So what we're talking about is this up the top, or even these ones, right? These ones, we could be talking about these. What are they? Melons. But there's definitely nature, right? He's made of nature. This is what nature is. Nature is energy. Nature is in motion constantly. This is the feather of Matt, which we've talked about before. And so we have the 0 point, fruitful. Yes, fruitful. That's really beautiful. Fruitful. Nature is fruitful. Nature is very generous when you think about it. There's a generosity in nature. If we think about, so for example, if we bury a body, and I was looking at this with our cat. If we couldn't bury her here, we just didn't even think about it. But if you bury a body, then the nutrients go back into the earth and can feed, life underneath the ground. It's the same thing that is experienced, because it's a very warm alkaline water that I read about subsequently to choosing. I chose very sort of quickly after she had passed, but the more I read about it, the more I really loved the process. Both the dog and son is white. Yes, spirit is with him. Absolutely. He's spirit in motion, Linda. His spirit in motion, because his undershirt is white, right? His undershirt is white. We know his core is connected. He is naturally, he's got a wreath, right? Wreath on his head. So we know that he is. So that's what. So we were looking at the Fool and comparing him to. Remember, the Fool is a brand new beginning. And now I don't know where I've put my. There it is. The ending and completion, the beginning. Love those words, Shelley. And these are the tips, the Fool. Wonderful. So, I mean, we could, if nobody has any questions, what else could we do? Up to you, everybody. If you give me a number between 1 and 10, I have my number down. Let me write it. Anybody wants to win this deck, I'm quite happy to give it away next week when there are more people or other people who want the deck. You can always give it away as a gift. There was a time when people would say that your very first deck should be a gift. Linda, thank you. and that someone had to give you a deck. Now, the world is chock-a-block full of tarot decks and interpretations of the decks, and so many tarot. You know, people are walking into thrift stores and buying tarot decks for like 50 cents in the kids' toy section. So, and really nice decks, mind you, you know. So their decks are plentiful at the moment, and they're kind of very sort of socially accepted, very widespread. So you really, I mean, you could buy your own tarot deck and it'd be just as meaningful as someone giving you a deck. Now, when someone does gift you a deck, it does put something a little extra, right? There's the energy, the transference, especially someone who's been reading their tarot for a while. So there's almost like it becomes a bit of a lineage that somebody is giving you not only the deck, but also the knowledge that comes along with it, right? And the energy of knowing it and understanding it and being with it. There we go. Did I put my number down? I did. Nobody's guessed it yet. Thank you for giving me a number, though. I really appreciate it. Any questions? Maybe we could do, does anyone have I have a spread which I want to use. Does anyone have anything that they feel stuck on? Maybe we could use that as a spread, and we can maybe wrap up by 7 o'clock tonight. What do you all think? Because we've pretty much done everything that we would do, right? Answered questions, chosen our card for the evening. It's a beautiful day. I hope everybody's just been going outside. I hope you've all been outside. Martha said 3. Oh, Martha, you're all so close. Maybe I should have done it out of 5. All right, look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it. I'm now going to choose the number between, wait, because I want one of you to get it. Isn't the deck that beckons you to purchase it not really a gift? I don't know about that, Linda. So the question is, isn't the deck that beckons you to purchase it not really a gift? I think it's a gift, you know, because that relationship, especially a deck that really speaks to you, that's a gift. That's a spiritual, that's a connection that you've already, this deck has jumped out to say, hey, I choose you. That's really special. I would say that's even more special than just getting someone to hand it to you, you know, and say, here's a deck. If you are intuiting that so clearly, if your intuition is coming, so it's not coming from the outside, but it's really clear to you that this deck is speaking to you, that's really special. So I would say that trumps having a gift from having the tarot deck as a gift. That's just me, though, right? That's just me. I really do feel like, or it's just as good, right? What does everyone think? It's a gift from spirit. Absolutely. It's a gift from spirit. Yeah. Yeah, it's a gift. Because, you know, it's all about communication and energy. So now let me see. Let's do between 1 and 5. And I'm going to put the number down. So give me a new number. Between 1 and 5, we're giving away a deck. Beautiful deck called Smith-Waite Tarot Deck. There was a time change today, wasn't there? And I think maybe people have, that might be what's happened also. There's the Pacific Coast, I realized, doesn't actually change its time. So I thought, so Pacific Standard Time is still, they're like 4 hours back. We've gone 1 hour forward, and it is 2:51 over there. Martha guessed 4. Martha got it right. Is that a 4? Can you see the 4? This has come off a come off. I'm sure all the ladies know what this has come off, but this is theirs. Martha, it's yours! Yay! Congratulations! The Smith-Waite Centennial Edition goes to Martha, and I'm so happy. Woohoo! I'm so happy for you that you have this deck. Yay! Oh, this is wonderful. Look at that. And it includes 84 cards with an instruction booklet. So that's 78 plus the 4 plus the instruction booklet. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy it's going to a home that loves tarot, right? Oh, it's my pleasure, Martha. Thank you, Shelley, for communicating with us for us. Beautiful deck. It's by US Games. They've been producing, I believe, they've been printing the Rider-Waite Smith deck for years and years and years. And this particular deck came out in 2013 and again reprinted in 2015. And they're now made in China. US Games. Stamford, Connecticut, right? Wonderful. So last 7 minutes, should I keep going after 7? I don't know. Does anybody have a burning question? We'll just, next week what I'll do is I'll have 100% of the proceeds go to Wild Bird Fund. It'll be the last time that we give to the Wild Bird Fund, so it'll be really nice to have the 100% proceeds going to the Wild Bird Fund then. So and that'll be the first day of talking about the minor arcana, which is really wonderful. And I would have spent the day in the play shop. So if you're interested in coming to the play shop, it's from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, this will be Pacific. It'll be like 10 a.m. Might be a bit early for you in Pacific. It'll be 6 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time, or are we in daylight time? It's EDT now, as I understand it. I shouldn't have written this in my advertising. So it goes from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a break at 1 hour for 1 hour at lunch at 12 midday, and we spend the morning going through all of the cards, major arcana and minor arcana. And this time what I'll do is I'll take several breaks and we'll do a guided meditation. Next week is also Passover. I know it's possible that people aren't available because it's a religious weekend. But it's okay. The 4 people that have signed up and anyone else, we've got 4 more seats left. We will have a lot of time to be able to share, ask questions, do practice readings. We're going to go through all of my commonly used spreads, the past, present, future, the yes-no spread, the question answer. I will help you kind of refine, and I certainly do to the best of my ability during these shows, show you what I do to make sure that I have the question right before I start pulling out cards. I always make sure that it is really concrete and very clear in my head, because I find that that's the best way to be with intuition. You just have to be very straightforward. If you're confused going in, you'll be confused going out. And it's better to just have clarity, right? Clarity with a question brings you clarity in an answer. It's like an open channel. And we talk about, doing a reading for yourself and a reading for others, very briefly though, because we do pack a lot in. So in that 1-day workshop, I pack in as much as I can of what I normally do over 4 or 5 months. And what we've been doing here over clearly almost, 6-7 months that we've been going here, we've just been meeting once a week, but we've been doing 1 card a week. And it's been, we get to go in pretty deep. Anybody got a question? We've got 7 minutes. This is a free question for anybody who wants to ask anything. Do we have, let's see, what could we ask? Could we ask about spirit guides? We could ask anything, really. We could ask about anything, any question. Shelley, ask Martha a card for the new book. Is this for your current book that's new or another new book? So clarify that for me. Shelley, I would love to pull a card for your new book. Is it for the book you've just finished writing? And make sure you email me. So it's the for the book that you've just finished writing, for the current one. Good. Make sure you email me or message me on Facebook at Georgia Marantos 3 is my handle on Facebook and on Instagram. So make sure you send me your, or if you have my number, then text me. But you can email me at georgiamarantos@gmail.com and I'll get it then, right? So this is a card for the book, for Shelley's book. Oh, so good. I remember we were talking about the publishers, right? And I remember we got the Knight of Cups. I remember there was an offering, so I feel like there's an offer coming to you really soon of someone wanting to publish it, someone wanting to like snap it up. So if we were to say how soon, because that was like, bam, that's the card, right? How soon? Should we do, is it going to be days, weeks, months? Okay. So we got cups. So it's going to be like weeks. Let's have a look. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I think it's going to be 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I think in 2 weeks, you're going to get that offer if you haven't already, right? That was the 2 weeks card, which is the manifestation card, which for me is a very, very positive card. And then by 4 weeks, which is a month away from now, so we're now looking at end of April, you have collaboration. You have a collaboration happening. 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I really think these are the two cards that stick out. So this is at 2 weeks and this is at 4 weeks. So wonderful. I hope that sort of sounds like it feels right. Sounds like it feels right. That's a lot of words, but essentially it feels right to me. And I really hope that's the timeline that it goes for you. If not sooner, why not? Let's pull that unlimited potential out of the stratosphere of the millions of possibilities. We have pulled a offer, right? An offering. Here it is. Wonderful. A messenger. Very soon you will get a message of an offering. Isn't that wonderful? Superb. A humble offering. Someone really, really admires what you're doing. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that. Super. I think you're going to be super happy with it. Great cards to get for the book right now, huh? Wonderful. There's a lot of love in that. So we've given away our deck. We've talked about the World card. We didn't get any questions or any donations for the Wild Bird Fund, but we have next week. And I thank you so much for turning up and for being good company. Oh, Shelley says, I have an offer from small press, but wanting a larger press. Oh, thank you, Shelley. So I'm just going to go back. So I was about to wrap it up, but Shelley's just written something. You have an offer from a small press, but wanting a larger press. Let's have a look at that, right? So now that I know that, I can factor that in. So what I can say is, okay, clearly there's an offer, right? There's an offer on the table. Already there's an offer on the table, which would make sense for why the Knight of Cups had turned up. Now, we would say, okay, well, that's a great offer. Are there any other offers? Am I going to get an offer from a larger press? So let's ask the question, will a larger press make an offer? We're going to read the cards. All right, so I got the 10. Now, why is this? Why would that be happening? So let's talk for a minute. You're waiting. Can send money for wild birds. Oh, Shelley, no trouble. So I threw this out there. This was free. I'm quite happy to leave it that we do this for the, it's my pleasure. This is my gift to you. So that this is, right, this is the 10 of clubs. So why would we have this card come up now for the larger press? What does it feel like? What does the larger press feel like to you? Is there a belief? Is there anywhere in your consciousness, anywhere in your consciousness that believes that it would be too difficult to have that? All right, this is a question for you. So I haven't wrapped up yet. We've got 1 minute, but I'll go a little over. I think I started a bit late today. We've got a couple of minutes. Let's just hash this one out. And we'll take it through until we get like a complete understanding of this, right? So we have we got the 10 of clubs, and I want to know, so they're called clubs or wands, sticks, you can call them anything. It's an unfamiliar world, right? It's an unfamiliar and you know, a little bit scary. The things that we don't know. Sometimes you know, if you're a big fish in a little pond, it feels better. They have movie contracts. A little fish in a big pond can feel quite sort of daunting, right? So if you were to completely wipe out any of that, you know, emotion that sits, it could be more prosperous, right? Yes. And so, you know, attached to the idea of money or the idea of fame and success, you know, how does that make you feel? Right? How does that make you feel? Does it feel like, yeah, I can put on that suit? That feels like me. That feels like, it feels comfortable, or does it feel uncomfortable, right? So what messages, so if you have when you put this out into the universe, have you desired for this? Have you desired that it be very, very successful? Or have you just said, wherever you want to go, dear baby, off you go? And I suspect you did the latter, right? You said, I love you, and here you are, take flight, right? And then suddenly this potential for something more is hanging there in the balance. Right? Yeah, the potential. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at, is the potential there? Is the potential there? So the answer is yes. So we would have to read that as coming out of, you know, a place of fear. And it's understandable because it's unknown, and it's a little bit like, hang on, this is my baby, and I don't know what those people are going to do with it, because stay my baby. I don't want it to be turned into, you know, a monster. I want it looking like my baby, right? And so you have the Sun card, right? It's just like the best card ever. And so is the potential there? Absolutely. So the potential for your book to be picked up by the larger press is very much there. And I would say be very, very wary of the feelings you have around that. And can you reconcile them? Can you give yourself some, you know, and this is a really good card for this question, because, you know, all your thoughts that are positive and encouraging will take you up, and any of them that are negative and full will take you down. So you already know the wheel. You already know how it works, right? Yes, you're polishing the edges, right? You're just shaving off those little bits that you know you don't need and that don't serve you, right? So if this book, if the destiny of this book is to go somewhere you've never been before, then you might have to let the book take the wheel of the bus, right? And that's a little scary. It's a little scary. So let's have a look. Can you let the book lead you? Yes, you can. And we're back to the Fool. We spent a long time on the Fool, did we not? Did we not? Did we not say the universe says absolutely, right? And this is why this felt like it was coming from you, right? The universe says absolutely you could have the larger press. You just need to know that it's a slippery slope, like the snakes and ladders, with how you feel about big press, right? So what you want to do is you want to be the Fool. You want to say, oh, big book. You know, so right now your book is the little dog, and we were talking about the dog. Absolutely, let go of control. The book wants to jump off the edge. The book is saying, hey, you following me? Are you following me? Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to jump. Are you ready to jump? Okay. Is it okay if I jump? Right? And it's amazing. It's really, really quite beautiful. And I need to say that you're holding this beautiful, rose of trust. And all you're doing is just trusting that this that you have created is real, you know, has its own real energy. And we've only ever pulled very positive cards for this book. So you can trust it. You can trust that the book has its own journey, right? It has its own journey. It's a mature soul, right? It's a mature energy stream. You're laughing. That's good. That's great. All you need is trust. Both of these people have their left hand out, and the left hand is the one that receives from spirit. So spend time, and remember, this is a falcon, and the falcons and the hawks and the eagles are all spirit messengers. So, remain open to messages in your dreams, remain open to receiving messages from spirit to help reassure you, to help abate any fears, and just trust your trusty little one here that's about to take you places you've never been. Very exciting. Super excited for you. Woohoo! Well done. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We've given away a wonderful deck. Let your friends know. I'll be posting about my workshop on social media. Please share with your friends and let them know that this is kind of the last time that I'll be teaching this workshop. And if they want to learn how to read tarot in a day, that they should jump on board and come and read with me. I feel like they'll learn a lot in a day, and I'll always be around to kind of help with any questions they have. And Martha, thank you. And God bless everybody. And I will see you all next week. Bye. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much, Shelley. Thanks, Linda. And thank you to everyone else who's been here. Bye.